Thank you again for joining me, Tiffany Leno of Yoga Roots, for some suggestions on how to keep a safe and healthy back and shoulders. We're offering today some suggestions of things you can do at home or even at work that you don't need yoga clothes or a yoga mat for. This next series will be for hips and low back especially. So oftentimes when we've sat for a long time, we've been sitting and we've been hunching forward, and the muscles of our low back feel tight. And they're actually overstretched, and they don't necessarily need any more stretching. So what they need is slackening, or to have the two ends of the muscle be brought back together. We're going to talk about that today here with the hips. So very simply, you can step on a block, or perhaps you have a stair at home. If you need some support, you can place a block by the wall or hold onto the railing of your stair. I always suggest the bottom stair over the top stair. We're going to take a little walk first, just letting the leg hang and dangle. The hips are even here. This leg is nice and easy. So effortless effort, just swinging. This gives an opportunity for the femur head, the top of the thigh bone, to move independently inside the hip joint without being pressed back up on the hip joint in every step. It also challenges our balance, strengthens the standing quad and the standing ankle. Taking full deep breaths, just feeling that space. Good. And of course, once you've done it on one side, you can do the exact same thing on the other, just moving your block out of the way and going for a really gentle, easy walk. The toe hangs, the foot swings back and forth. Barely efforting that leg, almost like a pendulum swinging back and forth. Once you've loosened up both sides of the body this way, done some breathing, felt confident here, we can work on that positional release therapy. So this is a little self-release, a little self-adjustment. We'll start standing on the block and feeling that our hips are square. So you may want to find the hip points at the very front of the pelvis here. We want to keep shoulders nice and even, so be reminded that they'll stay out of the ears. We're going to very simply take the hip of the leg that's extended and lift it up towards the shoulder and then drop it down. So it will actually become higher than the opposite hip and then lower. Now if you can match your breath, you could inhale, lift the hip up, exhale, drop it down. And I've been working on this for a long time. I suffered from chronic low back pain for many years, so my range of motion in my hips is pretty good. Your range of motion may be very slight for some, especially those who have had hip replacements or hip injuries. Your range of movement may be just slight. It may be a couple of inches. And as you work over time, you'll find it becomes easier and easier to lift and lower that hip. The leg that's extended is just nice and relaxed. We don't bend the knee or kick the leg out to the side. Just inhale it up and exhale it back down. Bringing some range of motion into the hips. So if you're someone who sits at a desk all day, this will be really great for the hips. And of course, what we do on one side, we'll do on the other. So we'll move the block, or if you're standing on the stairs, just turn and face the other direction. And we'll inhale that hip up and exhale the hip back down. Nice and easy, simple movements. Keeping it out of the shoulders. And if you feel like your shoulders are really doing all the work, you can always bring the hands up to the shoulders and then hold them steady as the hip lifts and lowers. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Great. Those are my best suggestions for loosening up the hips. A really simple thing you can do at work or at home, takes a few minutes but can really help to relieve low back pain. I thank you for joining me with this little tidbit. Namaste.